Good morning, everybody, and welcome to ARPA. The time is 10:20 a.m. Can I have a call, please?
Crowe,
Present.
Awful, here, Sure,
Yep.
Ducat,
Yes. Everybody had a chance to look at the agenda. Can I get a motion? Motion to approve. Mr. Sure. Mrs. Awful. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Do we have any public comments this morning? No public comments. We'll move forward. Discuss, review, and take action on all ARPA applications. We will start with number 99, the Watsika Park District. And she did not have her, is that correct?
correct,
She did not have her paperwork today, so she'll be back next month.
yes.
Then we'll move on to number 113, Ridgeland Township. Mr. Roger, are you here?
Yes.
Thank you, sir.
Before I hand out this stuff, I got a question for you.
We'll try to give you an answer.
Well, I feel like I'm wasting your time here, but I got an issue with a couple of trees that aren't on the township property that I need to have removed before I can build this building. And then I also have a drainage issue that come up this weekend. And I've explored two options on how to drain the water from the lot. And both options, there's a possibility I could flood the church basement or the house next door. Because nobody can tell where the tile goes. And they both have water problems now. So if I raise this lot, 6 inches or a foot, and I have to get rid of the water from the roof, it could be a problem for them. Then if I have to find drainage, that's an expense I really can't afford. So what I would like to do is find out what I can do there before I waste your time talking about this today.
I think if it's okay with the committee, why don't we let him explore his options, try to resolve them,
Okay,
get clarifications on everything, and then come back and see us next month. Is that okay with you?
that's fine with me, because if I go through all this motion and then
You're okay.
they can stop me, which
Thank you for coming in and telling us that. I think
and I would have let you know earlier, but I just found this out Saturday morning on the drainage problem.
So, do you think there's a workable way to work around it?
Well, there is, but
It can cost money.
it's gonna cost a lot of money, and the town doesn't have any money for drainage, and I don't wanna foot the bill myself.
Another place you can put it.
Well, I don't know if I can use ARPA money for an existing building. But there is a building in town that I rented some space from for gravel. It's a 50 by 88 building that's,
is it for sale?
it's gonna be.
Okay. I think it would be very intelligent to explore that option.
I mean, I never pushed it very hard because I didn't know if I could use this money
Yeah.
for that.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Would it get you as far down, or would it provide you with the facility that you had envisioned in the current location?
Actually, it would be better because there's about 1.5 acres of ground that I could use to put the gravel on. And it's right off the highway, so the trucks and stuff don't have to drive on any city streets.
Sounds like an option to be.
I mean, that's what I could do, but like I said, this drainage thing is, I have to cross the street to get to it.
You might want to check it out. Just explore your options.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's what I said, I don't wanna
We
waste,
will put you on next month's agenda.
okay,
Thank you for coming in, and in the meantime, if you do see the option of purchasing this, you may want to put a new application in. I think you would have to, Jill, am I correct?
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah, I'd have to review yours, Roger, but I'll be in touch with you.
okay.
Let you know if we need a new one, or if we could just amend yours, probably.
Like I said, I have no problem waiting because it seems like everybody is, got construction work to do for this summer, so, it's not gonna affect my part of it. I'll just have to check with these guys and see how long their bids are good for.
Well, thank you for coming in and updating us, and we'll see you next month.
Good luck.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
I'll be in touch with you, Roger. If the purchase price is less or equal to what you originally desired, then we'll just amend yours.
Okay.
If
it's-
I know we had.
Okay.
Or if it's more.
If it's more, I'd have to come up with
Either way, no, you
Okay.
can request the, whatever the purchase price is. I'll keep the Once you find out what the purchase price is, shoot me an email.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Thank you again.
Okay, thank you, guys.
All right, moving on, we'll move on to 1, 2, 3, Village of Woodland.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
I have copies if you don't have one.
Great. I can find mine.
Thank you so much.
My name is Stella Sear. I'm here representing Village of Woodland. I'm a trustee on the board. And I'm requesting funding to purchase a new lawnmower for the village.
What kind of lawnmower, you requested $20,000, so what kind of lawnmower are we talking about?
Okay, these quotes that are attached to the copy I gave you are zero turn
I'm
mowers.
sorry, pardon me for
They're
not
zero
turning.
turn mowers that are commercial, diesel.
And after she got her quotes done, we went ahead and lowered the request to the $17,902.76. Cause that was her highest quote.
Okay.
$17,000.
$902.76.
Okay, there's the quote. These quotes are directly from, oh, here, I'm
Have
sorry,
the quotes, please.
HW, it's on
Paperwork,
the
I
second
apologize.
one.
I have the original. Thank you so much.
What's the mowing deck size?
60.
And go for the 72?
No. Right now, we're mowing with a mower that's 6 years old. It's a residential mower that has been nickel and diming us to death, and it's about on its last leg.
Just gonna ask.
See, this is.
Just looking at it quickly, I think they'd be happier with the Kubota mower because the deck, I believe the deck will rise up, so.
Yes, I'm
on the
very
side,
happy with
this year,
the
I think you'd be a lot better off with that
Yes.
John Deere. It's also got the head on the price by a couple $100.
Right.
From that standpoint, that's probably a good thing.
Thank you for coming in. We'll keep you up to date with the plan is moving in the future, but thank you so much. let's move on to number 49, Fort Larks.
So I have included pictures, and estimates. I am only one of 3 people in Milford that, small businesses that own my building. Obviously, it's in dire need of tuck pointing. It's a very old building. The bottom 2 pictures there are for the sidewalk. When they come out to, this is my door jamb. The sidewalk is heaving into the building because there was not an expansion jamb put in. That's a little bit above my knowledge. I don't know exactly what that is. But it has ruined the door. We had planned to do this work in 2020 and COVID hit, and obviously I had to close. And the finances just weren't there to do it. I did get new estimates. The brickwork is actually cheaper than the original. The guy that I had originally got an estimate through is no longer in business. And then Morrison Benoit did the estimate on the concrete work and replacing of the door. The only thing that does not include the masonry if you're looking at my building, to the right of my door is a big window. And because that door is right there and it's shifted the brick, that window either has to be cut out and filled in, or the window has to be replaced. But he still has to cut brick out around it because of the way it's fastened into the brick. That's how they did it in the old days.
I would say yes.
123.
Can I see your-
Yeah. We'll need more than that for us to, one of each.
The problem is I tried to get 2 masonry estimates and there's not masonries around. It seems to be a dying trade.
Up in Shabans, they're able to get multiple estimates. Jill, I'm gonna, hold on 1 second, I can find them here. 24, 62.
This fellow is from Donovan.
The Shabana Sensory Celebrations, their phone number is 815-791-5402, if you wanna call and ask for Julie. That should be your cell. I know she has multiple tuck pointing that you can get a hold of,
Okay,
get estimates.
Thank you.
Same thing for the brickwork.
that is the brickwork.
Cox Concrete is the other one that might do it. I'm not for sure on that one
Cox Concrete out of,
though.
Hudson?
Long Branch, there by Lorette.
okay.
Just an idea, somebody to try, see if he does it.
We are encouraging, whenever we can, to use local contractors and, you know, if you wanted to get one from Houston too, but we are encouraging
Nobody from Houston.
nobody from Houston.
Neither does masonry work.
So just in round numbers, with just a single quote on both projects, from your 45,000, you're now looking at somewhere in the 27,000-28,000.
Correct, as I said, that brick estimate, the guy that I had previously was out of Champaign,
Okay,
and I don't know if that made the big difference.
okay,
But his estimate was significantly higher than that one.
okay. Alright, and both, I see this one cites prevailing wage, and
They're
mine-
both prevailing
they're both
wage.
at prevailing
Yeah.
wage, okay, that's, has to be, that's a must.
Because the gentleman from the masonry place asked me, why does it have to be prevailing wage? And I said, well, it's grant money, so he's like, okay. And he had to do some figuring and some research.
I was just gonna say, yeah, can we?
You can have those copies.
Okay.
They are copies.
So can we put her back on the agenda for June?
That would be the next option, which I think would be great to have you come back.
Okay.
And see the other,
How many more estimates would you like?
we just have to have 2.
Okay,
To
so another
make sure.
concrete and another masonry?
That would be moving forward to the next step.
Okay.
Is there anything else anybody has any Thank you so much for coming in.
All right, thank you.
What are you looking at? So move on to the next one. Move on to number 61, Iroquois County Youth Center.
Good morning. I'm Michael Johnson with the Iroquois County Youth Center. I'm asking for funding to cover the 3 months that we were closed. We were able to open after those 3 months because the kids were just walking around. So we worked with the public health department, came up with a plan, and we were able to reopen. We also were able to act as a PPE distribution, donation site for the public if they wanted to bring it in. So rather than put it at a county building, we put it at the youth center, which was able to be opened. I'm not asking for any funding for any work to be done, just to cover those 3 months and buy some new equipment for the kids. We were able to loan our PA system to the county board for a couple of meetings when they were trying to go into larger spaces. So we tried to work with the community as much as possible.
About how many kids do you have attending? I know I follow you on Facebook. You're open 3 days a week, 3 to 8 p.m., Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. About how many kids do you have participating?
Last year, we had 3,500.
Wow.
Now, that's not number of kids, that's interactions where they came in, signed in, and were there. During COVID, our numbers were down to 2,100. We were able to expand our hours and only have a certain number of kids. We made them come in, take temperatures, wash their hands with soap and water, and then they were able to hang out for 2 hours, play pool, things like that. We closed for a half hour, sanitized everything, and then other kids were able to come and do the same thing.
On a daily basis, what would be 18?
18 is our average.
Okay. I saw that you just had a Civil War event this weekend.
Yes, we have a 40 by 30 floor that is painted as a map of the whole Civil War. And they were playing board game on that.
Who won the war?
Unfortunately, the Confederates. The 2 times we have done this as a convention, the Confederates won both times. I started out with the idea of putting whoever was in the lead, putting their flag out front. Then I thought about it, the Confederate flag probably wouldn't be good to put out in front of my building. We do also host the Iroquois County Amateur Radios Club. They do emergency communications work out of our building.
What's your revenue stream? What's your source of revenue? How do you fund it?
Well, we try to get donations, and other than that, it's me and my wife.
So you've taken this on first?
Yes.
Well, I don't know what the rest of the committee thinks, but I think anytime that we can do something for our youth in the community, then I'm for that. Open to discussion about sums, but we've done something in Milford for the youth, we've done something in Gilman for the youth. Right. You do point out that you are helping the county and the community in other manners.
Yes.
Is there anything you do for like, a senior citizen population or a
We have been-
handicap?
We have been approached to open it up on certain days for that. The people that approach me about it don't want to be in charge of it. I'll open the building up to them, but I'm not going to be in charge every day. I've got other things in my life.
Understand.
So if you know anybody that would like to utilize the facility, it'd be great.
So you're open to that?
Oh, yes, yeah, I'm open to many, many things.
Maybe next time we had a meeting, we could have like Eric Stacy. He's been holding meetings, now they're holding them out at Crescent City, the fire department. Might be an option
I work,
Tabletop, work in, what, I can't.
for like
remember what he calls those.
EMTs or,
That's-
yeah.
Well,
It
we
is
have neighbors too, that
Right.
neighbors.
Oh, definitely.
Paul, before you move on, as I'm reading this, it's for reimbursement for money that's already been spent on rent, utilities and phone,
yes,
correct? Okay, so we would just need copies of those
Thank you.
bills before you award anything, so I can upload them into the system.
okay,
Okay, and then any sort of equipment upgrades, you have quotes on those or estimates, I just need those copies as well.
okay.
Okay,
What kind of equipment upgrades are you talking about?
We upgraded the flooring, we purchased 2 new pool tables. So,
Hey, you said that gentleman go to Las Vegas, didn't you?
yes,
Didn't Chad go to
yes.
Vegas?
we have a professional, well, semi-professional pool players that come and play pool with the kids and try to teach them.
Might as well be pro, he's really good.
Alright.
And Eric thinks he knows about the building, I work with him 2 days a week,
Fantastic.
so.
I know about the building too.
You'd be a senior citizen?
If you wanna get the equipment upgrades,
Said I know
paperwork
about
for that, the bills,
Yeah.
get those, sent over to Jill, as long as Jill gets all the information, we'll put you on for next month.
Okay,
Just out of curiosity, and it's not really pertinent to the reasons you're requesting, have you made upgrades and fixed problems in that building?
yes, it's an ongoing project in that building. We're using one section of the building for the youth center.
Okay.
So that is up to standard, the other is still kind of under construction. So I didn't ask for any money for that side of the building.
It seems to be, in Iroquois County, probably all over every county, that all these youth centers, are not being kept up, and it's sad because the youth is the next generation that's going to, be where we are.
Yeah, we're trying to make the next level of citizens to know what to do.
Correct.
So we just started a cadet corps.
Well, and I think that the, facilities that we have made allowances for are, Mike's very hands-on, and in Gilman, that one's very, the Milford one, I mean, there's a core group
And we do,
that are making sure it's run well.
yeah, we do meet about once a year and talk about what programs we're doing.
Thank you for coming in, thank you for bringing this to us, and we'll see you next month.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I'll get that to you, Dick.
thanks.
Number 64, Feeding Time Foods, and I don't see,
I didn't get a response from them.
they did not come in today, so we will move on. You want to take a minute, and look at their application?
You too.
You want to try to call them back next month, do you want
I
to,
can email again.
do you want to do that, or do
We
you want to?
haven't,
We haven't done that.
we haven't done that, which is
All
prior.
right, we'll give them a second chance next month. Sounds great. All right. Let's just jump out at 64.
Do you want us to contact the ones that didn't come last month as well?
There were about 4 that didn't come last month.
You know what, let's do it.
Yes.
What about what Secret Florida are we doing?
Yeah.
Yes, we are. Number 125, let's take it forward.
Morning. I'm John Bell from Washington Ford. Is that all right if I sit down?
You betcha.
I did not bring copies.
You're
I
up. We got it.
copies. Okay, perfect. So, obviously, I think it's been in the news plenty that we suffered in the automobile business, plenty of different shortages and with people and parts inventory and automobiles themselves. So, it's changed the way that we do business and plan on doing business in the future. planning an expansion in our service department. We've noticed a big uptick in service with actual personal vehicles as well as fleet, bigger trucks, I guess you could say, vans, that there's not as many places that work on that type of stuff anymore. Also shortages with employees and continual training with employees and our need to hire more with an expansion. So I did not put a dollar amount, I wasn't sure if I was supposed to, so I'm willing to discuss, but our current building is 80 by 200. We're planning on adding 72 feet to the back of it for 10 more service bays. And then on the north side of the dealership, on the empty property over there, we're planning on building an 80 by 104 building that half of it will be utilized for parts storage. Take some parts anymore. We plan on stocking on hand. And then we'll also utilize it for vehicle reconditioning. And then we're hoping to add maybe some accessory sales and or just another bay for more work that's not in our main building. So that site would have to be developed completely on the north side.
I see in your narrative that you plan to invest over $1.5 million in your proposed expansions. And you cite that will allow you to hire additional employees, provide necessary training, and complete more space. I guess my question today is, what do you want, John? He didn't put it in her mouth. What do you want?
Is it okay to say as much as I can get?
No, we need a number.
I guess my understanding is that especially with grant money, I hadn't even considered being, if it's used for building, it has to be prevailing wage. So ideally, the dollars that we would get would be for additional inventory and equipment. Unfortunately, I can't get very many quotes for equipment that's purchased from Rotunda, which is kind of where Ford pushes us to purchase our equipment. I believe I included the quotes for the equipment that we've already purchased. And then with our building on the north side, then it's gonna have inventory, which is to be determined, I guess. So I know the equipment cost $211,000. That, I'm gonna have receipts for that purchase already. That's probably the easiest route and the most helpful to be able to get the building up and running.
Is that, do we have that here?
Yeah, it's the quote from Rotunda on here. Like John said, they have to specifically order from them to be,
I see.
to be Ford and Lincoln certified. At the top of the page, it'll say DocuSign order, and it is 4 pages long. The last page has the total at the top of $211,716.86.
We've added to that list unfortunately already, but that is the current, what's already been purchased.
I guess for the benefit of the committee, one of the things I'm wondering about is if a request like this is something that might be more appropriate for our revolving loan fund program. The only real difference is the fact that revolving loan monies have to be paid back, and this doesn't, but the city has revolving loan money and so does the county. And right now, those monies really aren't being utilized for anything. And they are available at typically interest rates that are much lower than what you get from a bank. So I'm
I'm
wondering
interested.
if that's something to consider here.
John makes a good point, and I would also note on your application, we're kind of, at least I am here on the committee, kind of floundering because, well, number one, we do need it specified what you are asking us for specifically in a dollar amount. And secondly, we need to know which one of these services that you were impacted by and which one you're applying under. All of those numbers, they start with 1.1 COVID vaccination, negative economic impact, services to
He does kind of have that listed up here at
He
the
does.
first page. Not specifically by number, Donna, what you're used to, but negative impact would be number 2,
Oh, I see
and then
that.
infrastructure.
Since we have paperwork in front of us, would you be okay if it is reason for funding, or not the reason for funding, the desired funding, $211,716.88? That would cover what you already have in here
Correct.
for the pricing. Are you good with that?
Yes.
Okay. I'm just clarifying that number.
Yep.
Okay,
Okay, just want to make sure.
thank you.
Do we have any more questions at this time?
Haven't we generally disclosed also, he did receive the payroll protection payment, haven't we
We'd have to know that number.
had, yeah,
Yeah, anytime, like with your payroll protection,
We usually-
COVID relief, we just need the paperwork that we received on that and on the amount of it.
that was the PPP. So I guess the question, I don't know, do you agree, is do you want to spend your time with us or do you want to begin talking to the revolving loan fund people?
You want to explore that option, and then if you want to come back and
We can leave you on the
we can
agenda.
put you on next month's agenda, would that be okay with you?
I'm good with moving forward with this and doing the other simultaneously.
Well, and that quite possibly could be what you're looking for, but the revolving loan fund program is primarily intended to help businesses that are expanding and providing new jobs and so forth in the county. So, I think when we look at those funds and we look at the funds that we have here where we can best invest it, we've got applications for ARPA money more than what we have money available. So to try and figure out the best way to accomplish all these things is something we gotta consider too.
Absolutely. To be honest, I wasn't sure that the county still did the revolving loan fund. I guess I was not aware of that, so I appreciate that.
Every option's a good option.
To be honest with you, there's a little over $500,000 in that fund right now waiting to be used. And some of the same people that you're talking to today are involved with that program as well.
We utilized that with our initial build with the city and paid it back, so.
And we did a project with T&D where the city and we both contributed money to what they were accomplishing when they bought that old big art building out there and put that gun safe line in. That seemed to work out pretty well. They were able to pay their loans back rather quickly, but
Wait, yeah, there've been Cave Brothers from System Park has used that, and so did the Gathering way back in Gilman. So we've had some successful.
So
Transactions.
just for my clarification, and we can move forward with the 211, the dollar
If
amount.
that's okay with your number, I just want to put something
Yes,
in there so you have
absolutely.
something,
Yes,
you
you need from me the PPP
numbers.
numbers,
Mhm.
and is that it for me?
Yeah, and then I can get you the information on revolving loan.
What's the, I'm not familiar, what's the turnaround time on decision making for this?
Well, we have $8 million of everybody wants, we only have 1.1 left, I think, or maybe we're less than that now, but
Yeah.
it's coming down to the decision of what's best for the community, what's best for, every district, to make sure it's diversified throughout the county. And so working forward was keeping the loop like everybody else, and, if we can do something, we'd just love to. It's just that we don't have the funds to move forward. But basically, the federal government says you and I are only worth $78 a piece. And that's how we got this number. So that's like Kankakee County, they got, what, over 25 million? So that's why they did the numbers.
Right.
I have no real answer for you until we just keep moving forward on it.
Sounds good.
Thank you so much for your time coming in.
Thank you.
Thank you for letting us know about this, because it is an opportunity to do something, also putting people into work. And that's a big thing for Iroquois County, is to see people staying within the county and help the county grow and move forward. So again,
So.
thank you.
Thank you.
Don't you be stealing my papers there, Paul. You have them, they're just not in the fancy one.
I will try.
Thank you.
Last thing we got is hazard pay to Iroquois County employees. Just wanna go ahead and keep moving forward with that and put on next month's agenda.
I'm okay with addressing it at the amounts that we last submitted, if everyone else is ready to.
I'd like to keep it on until we get to the middle, like we said.
If you wanna keep it on for next month, then I can get some, I'll get some numbers for you, more
That would be
concrete
fine.
numbers. Since the last time I ran them, we've, increased, decreased people.
That would be great.
Okay, I'll get that together for you.
We're working on now with negotiations.
Okay.
Alright, any old business?
Wait, don't forget about application number 90, the board approval.
Well, I thought we were gonna do that, and if you wanna do that, new to let her put a put an earmark in for,
Oh, I don't care, I'm just reminding you that it was
I was gonna make it
discussed.
new business, I
Okay.
wasn't gonna make it old. I
Alright, gotcha.
mean, if you want me to go off the old application, I can. Do you think that'd be the best way?
What?
Is that the easiest
Now
way
you're
for you?
confusing me, sir.
No, sir.
No, I just wanted to remind you not to finish the meeting without doing it.
I was.
You're all good. Whatever.
I was just gonna do that in our new business. but-
Number 90 is the newest application I have for him, and that is the one with 260,000 requests. The original one had both buildings put together.
Oh, did you, 90 is,
Am I wrong?
Clifton.
92?
Yeah, we're somewhere in there.
No.
90.
Yeah, but.
All right, so-
92, John, I misspoke, I'm sorry.
Let's run old business, now move to new business. We'll do this in old business.
Running off my
And we'll do number 92, the Iroquois County Coroner's Office.
memory.
He had put in for desired funding before 260,000.
and he said the 200 includes inside furnishings, the cooler, location, oh, well, that's past, but
Right.
that's what my note says.
And as we've been working on this for quite a while, the average building's what, 120, 140 we're running into that we're finding, just not the right fit. Plus with buying everything, I think in my eyes, no more than 200,000 would be a nice resolution to hold on to it for him. And if possible, Jill, we'd like to, how you doing with animal control? That's the number I'm wondering with that. I wanna make sure that gets covered too. If we started something, like the animal control, we bought the building, I wanna make sure that we've talked about it, but I'd like
John's
to make
still working
sure,
on flood information.
I wanna make sure you have the desired money there to finish that
The building.
project.
Well, the remaining funds that we have from the original 65 that was awarded through ARPA, I'm planning on putting that towards, putting up a fence. We did do some repairs to the air conditioner, so that's already,
The thought
been
of
discussed
cutting
in management and that,
a dog
got that,
run,
so.
or are you gonna do that still,
we're
or?
gonna put the fence in for now, and then later on, we're gonna look at possibly putting in what it would need to happen is basically cutting out a hole where the dog runs are individually, so that they have what's called a guillotine door, so they can let them out a little bit safer and easier. But that'll be a little ways down the road. So,
Correct me if I'm wrong, there was 4,
we have 5 runs right now.
5 runs, okay. So you'd have 5 holes then basically to,
That's,
Let 'em out.
that would be the idea behind it, but
I'm with you.
for now, if we can get the fence up, and like I said, we got the building, the air conditioner working now, so. I think
Alright.
Chris said something about doing some roof repairs, so it is already in the budgeted general fund line for this year, $8,000 for building maintenance as well, so. Going forward, that'll probably be just a stand-in number until we can lower it or raise it or whatever we need to do, so.
We'll move off of that back to the Iroquois County Coroner's Office. What's the number everybody's thinking of? We only have 1.1 left, as I was told.
I gave you the paper in front of you. It's at the bottom.
So this was
One.
one that I had in my mind earmarked, apparently we want. I know you
I
hate
hate that
that word,
word.
I know, that's not how you're doing, but I'm asking on the committee, were there any other projects that we had money earmarked for that we have not done a resolution on, does anyone recall?
Doug has something to say here.
Doug?
Well, we're checking into that real estate tax, going to the digitalization of that, which is a healthy number.
I just don't
That's gonna
foresee,
benefit all the property owners.
I don't foresee ARPA funds being used for that though, because they have to be allocated out by 2024, and there's been no movement on that so far. And I just know how long it takes for a huge project to occur, or to get approved, let alone occur, because you're looking at, it has to be allocated by 2024, and the funds have to be spent by 2026.
And I think that's still doable to,
Well, then, somebody needs to get moving on it and get some paperwork in and an application in order for ARPA to approve anything.
What's the name of that project again, remind me?
well, it uses DevNet, which we
Gamma.
currently use, and uses a CAMA system to, use imagery to evaluate that. We are trying to work on it. Our plates are a little full right now, but we are I talked to Mark Miller, the supervisor assessors of Marion County, which is Salem, Illinois. He gave me insight. I'm trying to run down another, assessor over in Schuyler County that supposedly have recently enacted this. And that would give us some insight on how to do it. We've been approached by a vendor who says he can help us do it.
And that's a local vendor, isn't
Yeah,
it?
he's from Sherrill, is last name with a SH over in the Loaded area. And so yeah, I mean, we can go ahead with this, but I just don't know the total number, the whole plan, because we have to get the township assessors or supervisors on board. I've been in contact with Mr. Yerger about coming up with a plan for it, so.
In very round numbers, without holding anyone to a specific, what are we talking about, 200,000, 500,000, a million?
Right,
Million.
now, well, what's going on here is you got 2 issues. You got the software, hardware behind the scenes to let it happen. And then you got the yearly expense for the software licensing and this and that. That looks like the latest quote is $50,000 for 5 years. Will come the basic. A total of $50,000 for 5 years. Not $50,000 each. It's a total.
250,000.
Negative, no, I'm saying.
50,000, so it'd be 10,000 a year.
Well, but you had the initial startup and then you have licensing. So the first time it's probably close to $30,000 and then it trickles down from there for the 5 years. Then we have the implementation costs of going out and physically looking at each parcel, 16,000 parcels in the county. That's where the labor is. That's estimated over $1 million to do that. But we need to come up with a way for the townships to help pay for this, and what other revenue streams that we can come across that make it fair. That's why I'm trying to talk to these other counties to find out what benefits did they get when they converted to this system, so.
Number, anybody thinking?
What do you think, 200 or more
For what?
for the corner?
We're trying to find a building for a lot less than that.
Right, so
Well,
200,000 covered?
This is gonna be also his equipment.
Well, his
Right.
cooler, he thought would be,
He
he
was
thought
paying
30,000. What?
Didn't he discuss paying
He
for his
did
cooler automation?
discuss automation,
That's
the
what's in
new
there.
cooler and whatever other, at one time I think.
So you got enough money in automation to cover that?
Corner automation.
Cooler, I think.
His corner automation currently sits at 18,000, so.
12,000 to pay extra if we had to for the equipment.
I thought he said the cooler was 20.
I thought he asked for
And
30,000.
if it's a purchase next year, then he very well could have. He usually lets this grow to about 26,000 and then he'll look at a big expenditure, like his last big expenditure was his minivan.
Right.
So if he's thinking, I mean, if you're talking about in the next year, it very well could see the 20 that he needs for the cooler, just to give you an idea.
So if we were to do a resolution for 225,000, we can leave, he doesn't have to spend all of that. So that would be back in the,
Essentially, yeah.
I just don't wanna shortchange that project. I don't wanna get crazy, I think 260 is overboard, but I just don't wanna shortchange that project. And we did reject $175,000 building, so, you know.
One of the options that we're looking at right now, and I said this morning in the management committee, I apologize, things have happened this month that have
Sure.
hamstrung me, but we're looking at some kind of an arrangement possibly with the hospital where we could use that outbuilding and in return, give them some money to fix up that elevator and some of that kind of thing, so I don't know how receptive they're gonna be to that, but that's one option that we're looking at as far as the water is concerned.
I thought that had essentially not worked out and it had sort of was off the table.
Not yet. I just have not had time to talk to Mr. Toaster about it.
You can also, if you wanted to do less, you can also amend it at a later date to include a request for a larger amount of, say you wanna do the 175, cause that's what you're looking at for wanting to spend up building, and then after that's purchased, he comes up with the cooler price and quotes, then you can always put in a request for that too.
I'll make a motion to adopt a resolution in the amount of 225,000 for the morgue.
Second it.
Any more discussion on it? I personally think it should be 200,000. We can always go back later.
I just don't know, why do we have to do it right now? Because it's
Well, we're not giving it-
in the air so much, it's not gonna be more than 200, that's, I mean,
Right.
unless
Well,
our back gets pinned against the wall, we could have bought Bert Caper's building for 175. The reason we didn't is because we felt that's not.
was too much.
Yeah.
And see, that's why I said 225 is your statement that unless our back is just pinned to the wall. I mean, we don't have to spend that, but
I mean, do we have to make a decision today?
We don't, but I wanna lock something down that we have for him.
I think
instead of being,
I think since we started this, we've kinda had in our minds that this is something we wanna fund, and we got the number there that we wanna, use for that.
Well, I'm of the same,
I just think that's sufficient, but doesn't mean it is for me, but if you think we gotta,
well, I'm of the same mind, except for what Lyle said in management about, is it secure? And Jill hates the word earmarked and,
Well, I'm just saying, whatever I report to you guys has a resolution attached to it, because that's what I have to report to the federal government.
and I understand that.
So if you make that decision, then you have to remember, when I give you paperwork, those are only for resolutions that have been approved. So then you have to take the 225 or whatever you wanna do off the top. But I'm only reporting on what I have a signed approved resolution for. So whatever you guys decide or earmark or individual earmark, that's to your own, doing. The paperwork I provide you and what I report has a signed resolution attached to it.
Understood.
So going forward, you ask me, I'm gonna tell you what I have a resolution for.
And I see, in my mind, because I've ticked off amounts, when you give us that has a resolution, I'm like at a much lower number than that.
Yeah, and that's why I give you that paper that's right in front of you, every meeting. That's what we have a signed resolution for, so that's what you have left. If you wanna take the 225 off, and you can go from there. But I'm always gonna give you what I have a resolution for.
I understand. So,
I just think that any money that gets approved has gotta be approved by this committee. If everybody on this committee is of the same mind of having that money available, I don't know why we have to have a resolution for it. That's where I'm coming from.
as long as this committee understands that we have not put any money aside for the corner, and we can bring it up to each other in every single meeting, I'm good with it, as long as we keep conscious of it.
as long as
You
we
can
don't
note on
use
your paper. Deduct 225, that's what you got left.
I'm good.
I'm
I
just
wanna
saying,
make sure.
And we've got the other one that, all of these that we've put off till June. And then I have a couple of questions about moving forward when we get done discussing this, and I'm just doing some math here.
Give or take.
694. See, there's the danger, because I've taken off this.
Oh, okay.
Why do we want to waive it? Why do we want to waive it? I don't understand that.
Wait for the corner?
It seems to be a matter of bookkeeping and people being assured that the money's gonna be there. So, I guess I'm okay either way. If you wanna kick it down the road, or if you just wanna get the money formally
Well,
spoken for.
Jill, would you be okay? Right, we'll go.
I'm okay with whatever you decide, just as long as you know, when I'm asked what we have left, it goes strictly
Question I would
off of
ask
the
you
signed
is-
resolution.
Could we do the same thing like we do with hazard pay to the Iroquois County employees, just put it on the list for every month?
That's up to you guys, that's
I
fine.
think I'd like to have that done.
Repeating either way.
So management hopefully will move.
I mean,
on
it's just
something
like that,
there.
I don't have anything
Management will.
not approved for that
With the
either.
Soon.
So kind of keep tabs on it to find out where it's at. But where's it at right now? I mean, you're,
Well, I'm trying to talk to somebody in Milford, and I talked about a building in one seat, and it turned out not to be.
So you still have a motion on the floor, don't forget.
I know,
we're
I'm trying-
discussing.
I'm just saying, don't forget.
So do we wanna withdraw the motion, rescind the motion?
And your choice. Do you want to withdraw the motion or do you want to go all through?
Do you want to go through? John wants to put it on the agenda, what do you wanna do?
I'm gonna wait. I think that'd be very intelligent since we already have this constant conversation. She can put it on the list for every month. We'll know it's there.
Okay, I'll rescind my motion and put it on the agenda for every month so we don't forget.
Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome, you
By doing that, you put more pressure on me to get the thing done, so
That's good. Well,
Well,
John,
and I
we're all looking. John came in with the building today. I've talked to someone in Watsika. The building's not for sale. I have not been able to connect with the owner in Milford, so all of us keep working on it.
So here's my next question. You have the Park District, you have Ridgeland, you have Affordable Arts, you have Watsika Youth, you have Watsika Ford, and you wanna invite back the 4 from last month, plus Speed and Time. Do you want them all on next month's agenda, or would you like to spread them out? I don't care either way.
I think we're getting through them rather
Today was fast.
expeditiously. It's 11:20.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that would be 10 that you put on next month's agenda, plus the hazardous pay, plus the corner building.
That's 12. 1, 2, 3, 4,
Just to
5,
verify, I
6,
can just
7, 8.
simplify.
Well, we had 8 on the agenda this month, so it's really only 4 more.
Just wanna double check?
On that 12, you're
Just tell me
counting
to know.
hazardous pay and
And,
corner, right?
right.
So we're back to 10.
No, well, you'll have 10 on the agenda, then you'll have the hazard pay and the
Okay.
corner, which is 12.
I'm good with that.
Okay, just so Amanda knows what to put on.
So,
Before I get on new business, go ahead.
we,
You ready to adjourn?
No.
Okay, so go ahead.
okay, Jill, you made us this map.
Mhm.
Can we get an updated version of this? I find this to be helpful.
Yeah, I just have to add Prairie Down, and then I was gonna add anything from today, but.
I kind of like seeing where we've got the money positioned, you know.
Sure.
I like the idea of spreading it out.
Not a problem.
And then you did a graph
Yep.
chart for us once.
Want a copy of that as well?
We could see, because for what I wanna see, it's kinda hard to, and specifically what I wanna see is, what we've given to small businesses, and I know that's not what we're calling it, but,
Business assistance?
business assistance, I'd really like to see where we are with that, as well as all of the other areas.
Is it okay if I just email them out today?
That'd be fine.
Okay.
That'd be fine.
And I can make you copies for next month, but
Yeah, can you mail us maps too, or?
Yeah.
Okay. So we can see where we're, the goal is, and why I am asking is, I don't wanna see the money spread throughout the county. I don't wanna see us get, 6 stars right here and
Good.
not here.
yeah, no worries.
That's the way it's going.
Good, good, well then we're of similar numbers.
Yes, that's fantastic.
And I don't know how old this one is, I know you give us one every month.
I'll email it with the rest of them, Donna, and I'll have paper copies for you for Tuesday, how's that? I said I'll email them to you, and then I'll
This
have
one's
paper
got a
copies for you.
date on it, I can't find a date on this.
Yeah, I don't think I have.
And quite honestly, I need to go through here and throw some of this old stuff out.
Yeah, I'll email it and I'll get you some paper copies for Tuesday too.
Okay. Thank you.
No problem.
Anything else?
I don't think so.
Anything?
Do we need a motion to adjourn?
I was waiting for that, but yeah, if you'd like to be the first.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Motion passes.
Let's hurry up and get out of here before Barbara's back.
11:19.